And welcome back to this special edition of Sports Talk. This is the annual LL League Football Coaches Show. I'm Chad Landers. Thanks for joining us for the entire show. And we are wrapping up Section 2 talk here in the Lancaster 11 League Football Gridiron with Conestoga Valley. And that means we're welcoming in Coach Coach Novak here with Eric May and myself. How are you, Coach? Welcome back. And it's good to see you after all this time.
Yeah, great to be here. I'm happy to be back on Blue Ridge and the chance to see your smiling faces again. This is great. I love it.
Yeah, the key word there, smiling faces, as we have kind of gotten past the whole mask thing for now. And we're ready to get going. You get a full 10-week season. You get, your non-league as well as that Section 2 schedule. So we're kind of back on track here. How do you keep your team on track? You ended last year so well, those 5 wins in a row. How do you capture some of that magic here in this season?
You know, the kids have been doing a fantastic job. I think the fact that we had a successful year, the kids were excited all through the off season with weight training and everything that we have done. Their attitudes have been phenomenal coming out to practice. Heat acclimatization was crazy this year with the heat. But our kids battled through it and did a great job. So, they've really taken the onus on themselves and have been motivated to come out and practice every day and have done a great job up to this point in time.
We're all very curious about the maturation of your quarterback. I mean, he kind of came onto the scene in his sophomore year last year. Now as a junior, McCoy Nicely. What are you expecting from him? What did you see from last year to this year? I mean, obviously that was a nice little surprise for you that he kind of caught on towards the end of last season.
Yeah, he started off the season slow, obviously, but came on strong after week 3 of playing Cocalico and really caught on fire at Manheim Central, which was great to see. That's not an easy place to play, and he had one of his best games of the year there. So, he has grown a lot more mentally about the game. He understands the game so much more now this year. I've put Ron Zieber, who used to be the head coach at Hempfield High School, is one of our coaches. And Ron's working specifically with the quarterback, so they get a lot more work because I coach on the defensive side of the ball. But McCoy has made some nice strides. He's allowed us now, this is his second year coming in the offense, to expand some things and to really add on to our offense that we didn't have last year. So hopefully this year we'll be a little bit more explosive, from that standpoint, because he'll be able to do some things at the line of scrimmage that we weren't able to do in the past couple of years.
All righty, Eric Mays here, our voice of Lancaster 11 League football on Blue Ridge for 30 years now. I'm sure you want to hop in here, Eric, and fire away with some questions.
Well, I know.
That's a long time, Eric.
Not as many as you've been coaching, but that's okay. Hey, I kind of want to ride on what Chad mentioned about in the beginning. A slow start. You started off 1-2, and then finished the season with a 5-game win streak. Looking back on that, was there a game, a half, or play that kind of just set everything in motion to give you guys that catapult to get those 5 wins at the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, but that victory at Manheim Central was huge for us. Coming into that game. Not playing well against Cocalico. McCoy had a lot of guys open, didn't hit them. And in the Manheim Central game, he really did a great job of throwing the football and completing passes, which gave us an opportunity to get ahead. And I think right before the half, we ran a reverse pass and hit Jay Plowden in the corner of the end zone, where Manheim Central was starting to get some momentum back, scored that touchdown going in the half. I think that really started off. And then I believe in the second half, Booper Johnson pulled off a big run for a touchdown. And the kids really started to believe. So if it was anything, I think it was the Manheim Central game. They won there. That is not an easy place to win. Obviously they didn't have as many fans as always, but anytime you play inside that stadium, you know the tradition there, you know their history, the kids know the history, and to beat a Manheim Central team at Manheim Central was a huge victory for us. I think that's what really set the tone.
Yeah. Now you mentioned about, obviously Nisley coming back and just how he continued to grow week in and week out.
Yeah.
How important is it now to still have a number one target in Jay Plowden back this year?
Well, I mean, he just opens up so many things in the passing game. Allows us to get the ball vertically down the field, and we can use him in the running game. Believe it or not, we as coaches have gotten a little bit smarter about how to get him the ball on running plays and get him to the outside. Having the ball in his hands makes it, a huge threat. Hopefully teams will have to double team him, which will free up some of our other wideouts who we think are pretty good. We have, a bunch of them coming back and some young kids that have been doing a great job. So, McCoy, as long as he has reads the defense, understands where the ball has to be thrown and where we want to run the ball, we should be good. But it's all going to start with him, getting us in the right play and getting the ball to JP when we have those opportunities.
Well, of course, then leading up to that too, then is the guys up front. Noah Admostu is back. Carter May is back. Kyle McGallagher saw some playing time last year. How have these guys developed so far in the preseason?
Last year we had one returning starter coming back, and it was Kyle McGallagher, and he got hurt. So we basically had 5 new guys playing on the offensive line, and it took them a couple of weeks to get things where we need them to be. Having everybody back is huge. I think it all starts right there with the offensive line. If those guys can pass protect and they can run block effectively, we're going to be pretty good from that standpoint. And I feel good. They've done a great job. We had a slow start against Lebanon on Saturday offensively, but then as the scrimmage went on, we got stronger and stronger, and the offensive line was really gelling. And I expect that, that's what's going to carry us through the season. Those guys have got to open holes and give McCoy some time to get the ball down the field to JP and to Avery Tran and to Jabari Aspilari. I think we can do that. Nick Tran had some great runs at running back last year for us. He did a great job, and we have him back. And, he's pretty explosive. He's probably faster than Booper. I know, you guys like Booper Johnson, but Nick's a little bit smaller, but he's got some explosiveness. And, that could create some problems for defenses.
That would have been my question, kind of who fills in the running back void for Booper. It's a name that's been there for a few years, but it sounds like you're happy with Tran and anybody else in the stable?
Yeah, Tran and Tyler Klopp has been doing a great job, and Colin Martin are the other 2 running backs that have been going in. Those guys have really caught on and understand the blocking schemes and where the ball needs to be run. It's no secret we run an inside zone, and they're doing a great job of reading where the blocks are and what the linemen are doing. And they look pretty good on Saturday against Lebanon. So hopefully that carries out throughout the season.
Eric, any other questions here?
Well, yeah, in as much as you've passed on the reins as far as the quarterbacking, you're focusing solely on the defense. Talk about your defense this year.
Yeah, we lost 7 guys from the defensive side of the ball. And, that's really the scary part, because in the past, we've won games and lost some games and scoring 50 points. In a high school game, you score 50 points, you would expect to win. But we've lost a few in the upper 50s. And replacing 7 guys is not easy, especially when you lose your entire secondary, your safeties, who in our defense are extremely important. But Nick Tran is playing at safety, and his brother Avery. They've done a good job in our first scrimmage, and hopefully they continue. We got some kids behind them. Defensive line, Charles Janren, we got to replace him. We can put some of these bigger guys. We have 61 kids on the team, so which is not what we usually have. We're usually in the high 40s or mid 40s. So, we're going to be able to play some kids one way And I think that will help us in the long run, on the offensive side of the ball, keeping the ball away from other teams, but also on the defensive side of the ball, kids are going to get rested, and, we should be pretty good. So we've got to really, the inside of our defense is where we have to improve. Our defensive tackles, our defensive ends, and our linebackers is where we lost all the people. And again, Saturday we looked good, but, that was just a scrimmage, and Friday night it's for real. So, a little bit more pressure.
Well, let's talk about Friday night coming up against Penn Manor as you kick off the season. Interesting to hear how you match up or how you're looking at Penn Manor, but also Section 2 seems pretty wide open this year. There's no front runner like Warwick was last year. So how about your thoughts on both of those scenarios?
Yeah, Penn Manor is a really big football team. I know they went against Governor Mifflin, and Governor Mifflin is a good football program. It's tough playing option, but they're big, they're strong. They've got some skilled kids, wide receivers, some deep backs, some running backs that are pretty good. Not what I was expecting. I was expecting them to be down a little bit this year, but it looks like John has them going on pretty well. For us, I think playing 5 non-leagues in a row will definitely help us when we get into section play. Section 2, as you said, is wide open. I still think, you got to favor Cocalico or Warwick. You can't count out Manheim Central ever. They had a bad year last year, but obviously Dave will have them ready to go. So, always Section 2 is a battle. There's new rivalries in Section 2. It's a matter of just getting off to a good start. I think if you get some momentum going into Section 2, the kids are feeling good about themselves because they're winning and executing. We have a pretty good chance.
All right, Eric May, hop in for one last question here while we have Coach Novak.
My final question then. Fill in the blank. For Conestoga Valley to have a successful season, they must
be able to run the football.
Wow. Never thought I'd hear him say that.
How about that? We have to be able to run the ball. I think we have to be able to control the ball, control the clock a little bit until our defense is able to catch up to where we need them to be. We can't get into shootouts and allow the defense to be on the field for long periods of time. We've got to get those kids off the field, run the clock, and keep the ball out of other opponents' hands. I always say if the offense can control the ball and their offense isn't on the field, you got a good chance of winning. The least amount of touches they have, the more difficult it is for them. They start to feel the pressure, like we got to score, we got to get the ball in the end zone. Yep. We're going to be able to score. Can we stop anybody? That's going to be the real test.
All righty. Well, Coach Novak, thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving us all the details on the team. We'll see you in the second half of our Blue Ridge 11 schedule on TV. So hopefully you have the boys playing good at that point. And I think we're going to be out there in Whitmer to see what you guys have. But thank you so much.
That'd be great. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All righty. Good luck this
season, guys.
Stay healthy.
All right, will do.
All right, we'll see you then.
All right.
All right, that was Conestoga Valley football previewed here on the LL Football Coaches Show. Coming up after the break, we are switching from Section 2 to Section 3, and we'll talk the effort amounts in just a minute.